Say that, no, heart diamond.
He then walks down the street to a jewelry store.
I wanted to do something with the jewelry store always. It's closed, so we can't. I used to imagine what would it be like if I could steal the stuff from it.
He then tells the lady to look at the display case. She looks closely and sees that it is her watch. She realizes that the watch is no longer on her hand.
It's my watch! It's my watch! Is that really your watch?
Blaine then puts his hand through the window to grab the watch that had been on her hand.
Here, come closer, look, watch this. I reach like this. See that? I reach through the window, see that?
He then moves his hand back through the window without any damage to the window or his hand.
It's my watch!
The newspaper has a hole. Oh, look, the newspaper has a hole. Oh, look, the window does.
I don't got it.
See my hand?
Amazing. I did. That's so cool.
This is your watch.
It's real.
Blaine also promotes voodoo magic.
Remember the guys that used to do the voodoo? Yeah, magic has existed for thousands and thousands of years. Court jesters used to do it, shamans would perform it.
In Haiti, magic and voodoo are considered the same thing.
David Blaine, Mysterious Stranger, quote, "On our first night in Haiti, Abujo had arranged for us to film a voodoo ceremony. By the time the voodoo ceremony started, the temperature in that room had to be at least 120 degrees. Then I saw the human skulls and the full skeleton. The ceremony began, and it was the most intense experience I'd ever had in my life. The heat, the music, the chanting, the stench of decaying flesh, it was otherworldly. People got up and drank some kind of potion, and all of a sudden their eyes rolled back in their head. They broke into some weird ecstatic dance, and then they fell down in a trance." David Blaine quotes, "Sometimes I'll pull a hair out of my head and place it on the drawing of my hand before the match is lit. It's a convincing touch for someone who believes in voodoo." After he emerged from being buried alive underground for a week in 1999, Blaine told the crowd, quote, "I saw something very prophetic, a vision of every race, every religion, every age group banding together, and that made all of this worthwhile. To promote different religions banding together is complete apostasy from God." Here is Blaine's promotional poster for this event. Notice that the underground looks like hell. Here is a Blaine promotional poster for his act of being trapped in a solid block of ice for 3 days. Notice how Blaine embedded a skull on his platform. Here are some posters from another major event of Blaine. Notice the presence of demons. In 2002, Blaine stood atop a 100-foot pillar in the New York City area. The area for him to stand was less than 2 feet wide. He stood there for 35 hours straight with no safety net.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a safety net on the bottom, just in case he falls. The wind blows or rain or something. There's nothing down there.
He completed the act wearing a hoodie with a dragon prominently featured on the front. Apocalypse 12 verse 9, quote, "And that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent who is called the devil and Satan, who seduces the whole world."
Let me try this. Can I take this hat? You have something I can use as well? Just any, like not a hat. Because what's that mean? Sateen? Give me something to take though, something to grab with. Something just so I can take like this. Look, watch, look. If you reach in, right, make it pretend you're reaching into the hat. No, but look, I make it seem like a snake.
Revelations 20 verse 2, quote, "The dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan." Throughout his book, Mysterious Stranger, Blaine features pictures of dragons on the sides of the pages. He also features a picture of the devil or a demon in agony surrounded by flames many times in his book. He never explains why he is promoting this picture. On the title page for chapter 8 of his book, Blaine has a picture of himself. Look at the shadow. The shadow for Blaine has horns on its head. Blaine is clearly telling us that he is of the devil. Blaine has the look of demonic possession, a dark figure who, in his own words, produces works that are dark.
I'm doing a one-man show in New York, which is an off-Broadway show that's going to be very dark and different than anything.
Jesus says that those who are evil love darkness, walk in darkness, and are of the power of darkness. St. Paul also repeatedly describes the devil's power as that of darkness.
Now watch, ready?
Are you an illusionist? Are you a trickster? What is it? Are you a stuntman? What are you? How would you describe yourself?
Just a showman.
In one interview, Blaine flashed the Eye of Horus marked on his hand. He said that it's his protection from death.
Is this part of the show? This stare and the eyes and all that sort of thing? The eye in the hand. And what is that? What is the eye in the hand? Let's see that again.
Protection.
Protection. What does that mean?
Protection from death.
Oh.
Horus is an Egyptian false god that was worshipped by the Satanist Aleister Crowley. Crowley called himself the B666 and was deeply involved in magic. Crowley also promoted human sacrifice, homosexuality, and other forms of sexual perversion. Crowley's main saying was, quote, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Satanism teaches that whatever you feel like doing, you should do. Also, take a close look at the pentagram, the five-pointed star used by Crowley. This pentagram, along with the inverted pentagram, are both symbols used by Satanists and witches. Here's a regular pentagram featured on a statue recently displayed by Satanists. This is the most famous magician in Japan, Cyril Takayama, known simply as Cyril. In this magic act, Cyril draws a pentagram using chalk. It's almost identical to the pentagram used by Crowley and other Satanists. Also notice the skull with a black star on his shirt.
枠の中に立ってください。どうぞ来てください、前まで。ここ。Please, right here. Right here, okay? And ちょっと下まで。
Cyril then puts the woman inside the circle and levitates her.
Let go. Let go.
Cyril 以外の4人が手を離して女性が宙を浮いている。
後ろに引いてください。
しかし現象はこれだけではなかった。
下がってください。テイさん、集中は崩さないでくださいね。大丈夫、大丈夫。集中崩さないでください。Concentrate.
Cyril was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. He then moved to Japan. He became fascinated by magic at around the age of 7 when he was taken to a Las Vegas magic show. Notice that many of these top magicians got involved in magic at a very young age. Here, Cyril is on an outdoor ice skating rink. He asks someone to roll a water bottle on the ice. Cyril moves to the spot where the water bottle stops rolling. He takes a person's cell phone and instantly puts it under the ice.
1, 2, 3.
He then breaks up the ice and pulls the cell phone out.
よく音を聞いててください。
Ready, Aya?
In this clip, a woman selects a card and places it among other cards in a life raft ring in a pool. Cyril then does a bungee jump from an extremely high area holding a sword. As he comes down, he stabs the card the woman selected and gives it to her.
There's no way that I can move. Okay. There's no way that I can take the finger ring off. Okay. It's gonna jump from the bottom to the top. Okay. Magic. Okay. Don't let go. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Okay. Hey. You can let go now. Okay. The middle finger. Okay. Throw one more time. I want everybody to see. From middle finger all the way to my. Take it. Check it out.
In the following clip, Cyril appears to change water into ice.
That's okay. No problem.
Cyril has been pictured wearing this shirt. The back of the shirt has the title, quote, "The God of Wind." Like many other magicians, Cyril has also worn shirts with skulls. Cyril also embraces religious indifferentism, and he says differences are precious.
It reminded me of all of our differences and how precious those differences truly are.
Another wonderful day here in Rio. Until next time, love, peace, and happiness.
Cyril has performed numerous seemingly inexplicable tricks, like this one where he bites off a coin with his teeth, then he spits it out so it becomes whole again. Other magicians have also performed this trick.
Yikes! Oh my. Hey.
Oh no! Oh no.
In reviewing footage from the top magicians in the world, one discovers that they perform many of the same kinds of false miracles. This includes various magicians putting their bodies in positions in which they should fall over, but they don't. A spirit must be assisting them in order for them to do this.
This is brilliant. Now just slowly let go. And step back.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is amazing.
In this false miracle, Cyril makes a card someone selected come out of the deck and stick to the window. He also puts it on the other side of the window.
That's it, man.
Criss Angel is one of the most famous magicians in history. Some believe he has already become the greatest magician of all time, surpassing even David Copperfield. Criss is the most watched magician in the history of the internet, and his magic show called Believe is the top-selling magic production in the world. His show Believe takes place in Las Vegas, also called Sin City.
We are here in Sin City, Las Vegas.
Criss sells a magic kit. It's the largest magic kit available in the world.
Right from there, it's coming out in 50,000 stores.
Criss started practicing magic as a child after begging his aunt to tell him how she did a card trick.
Well, I started when I was 6 years old. My Aunt Stella taught me my very first card trick. I became obsessed and passionate with the art of magic by the time I was 10. Started performing professionally when I was 13, and that's all I ever knew.
In his book Mind Free, Criss Angel said, quote, "Once she shared the secret of the trick, I felt this incredible sense of power that an adult didn't understand how it worked, but I did. It was very enticing. I became extremely fascinated by magic." At age 14, Criss floated his mom on a broomstick. While Chris was heavily involved with magic, he also studied dance, the martial arts, quote, mysticism, and music.
I grew up, the MTV generation, and I was much more interested in music, great bands like Led Zeppelin or the Beatles.
Growing up, Chris was instrumental in starting 2 heavy metal music bands called Angel and Angel Dust. Referring to his time growing up, Chris said, quote, "My greatest influences were MTV and music. Ozzy Osbourne, Elvis, Motley Crue. Those were the people I aspired to be like." Chris said that as a performer, he wanted to be like the Beatles, Kiss, and Madonna. Criss Angel, quote, "Madonna is a tremendous example of someone who went to New York with a couple of dollars in her pocket and an enormous dream to conquer the world. She did whatever she had to do until she hit the big time." Criss Angel, quote, "As I began to explore other personal influences, I found myself drawn to eccentric personalities like surreal artist Salvador Dali. Dali was addicted to fame and money. He innately understood that as an artist, garnering any type of reaction from his audience was the best way to seduce them and win their favor." Criss Angel, quote, "I had to generate some noise to blow any of my competitors out of the water. To do that, I needed to be radical and hardcore." Criss Angel's official symbol is an A inside a circle. It's extremely similar to the universal symbol for anarchy. It's also somewhat similar to a pentagram, which is a star inside a circle. Chris's first major stage show was called Mind Freak. Chris had many major magic shows on national television. One of them was in 2003 on the Sci-Fi Channel called Supernatural.
Tonight, you will meet a man who will change the way you think about magic. Supernatural. The Mind Freak. Criss Angel. Supernatural.
Chris's current stage show, Believe, debuted at the Luxor Pyramid Hotel in Las Vegas on Halloween night 2008. Chris holds a Guinness World Record for making 100 people disappear during a May 26, 2010 performance of Believe. From 2005 to 2010, Chris ran a series of national TV shows on A&E called Mind Freak. Mind Freak portrays a crawling demon following Chris around. Here is part of the official Mind Freak theme song sung by Criss Angel. In 2007, Chris authored a book called Mind Freak: Secret Revelations, which appeared on the LA Times bestseller list. In 2013, Chris ran a series of national TV shows called Believe on Spike TV. In 2015, Chris started a new magic show called The Supernaturalists. Chris has described his magic empire by saying, quote, "I've created a very large, sometimes scary beast of an operation." Chris speaks of when he went into business with his manager. He says, quote, "We literally cut our hands, let the blood seep through, and shook on our deal." Chris is a magician who has levitated, something that cannot be done without the assistance of a spirit or spirits. Chris has levitated on more than one occasion in front of live audiences. Chris says that all of his magic is performed live. Chris has also levitated above the Luxor Hotel, the pyramid where his magic show Believe is performed.
Stand by.
On other occasions, Chris has hypnotized people and then levitated them.
Have you ever been hypnotized? Have you ever been hypnotized?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try this with you. All right.
I did not have muscles to go like that.
We're gonna try something that is gonna require a little bit of hypnosis. Let's come over here for a second, and I want you to look at me.
Chris has also levitated Shaquille O'Neal on more than one occasion. The second time Shaq was levitated, he was at Chris's house. Shaq is one of the biggest and best players in NBA history, standing 7'1" and weighing about 350 pounds. Shaq was levitated so high that he went over Chris's house. A small crowd was also there watching the event, including some, quote, celebrities.
How in the world did Criss Angel get Shaq off the ground?
How'd you do that?
That's the most amazing thing I ever saw in my life.
Here, Chris takes a randomly selected stuffed animal from a toy store and makes it appear to walk. One boy questions if there is a battery inside, and Chris proves that there is no battery inside the stuffed animal. Chris has also pushed a pencil right through a quarter in front of witnesses.
I want you to see that you can actually see on both sides. Completely goes right through.
Ace of spades. Ace of spades. That's a very popular card. I would just literally be able to flip out, boom, the ace of spades. You see that?
Chris will even vanish right in front of people.
That's what you're watching.
The volunteers in this magic act look underneath the blanket and discover that Chris has disappeared.
All right, now, you brought out here today 3 forks.
Right, actually got them from the green room.
You got them from these are actual Fox News
That's
Channel.
true. I think it says Fox on the back.
Yeah, Fox on the back, all right. And you can do something, not mess with this fork.
I'm going to try something.
You are?
I'll try something if you like.
Yeah.
All right, and you examine these, and I'm just going to play it to this camera right over here in front of me. All right, I'm just going to take it, I'm going to shake it like this. And as I shake it, you'll see something start to happen right now. Watch. Look, you see it going right there? Look. I'll show you one more time.
You're going to have to show me.
All right, there you go. Watch.
Right, watch it very carefully.
You'll see it happen right now. Look, it's starting to go. It's going to start going right now. Look.
Let me see this third one. Okay, this is a... Oh.
Now, I can tell you, if you have a Heineken Premium Light beer,
Yeah.
it looks a lot better.
All right, now, do that again. I shook it, nothing happened to it.
Well, you got to get it. See, every fork says where it's made on the back. This is made in Japan, and it's stainless steel. If you just shake it like this, and you get it just right, you can heat up the metal and start to bend, just like this. Watch, you'll see it go. You see that?
You want to explain that there?
Take one card, place your face down. Okay. Okay, and place the pack to the side. Now, it would be completely impossible, or highly unlikely, let's just say, that our cards would match, correct?
Almost impossible.
But I have a sense of you because I've done the show a couple of times and I know how you think. What was the card that you selected? I'm going to move mine right over here. What was the card that you selected? Turn it over.
It was the King of Clubs.
The King of Clubs. And what was the card that I chose? Turn it over. Well, turn it over, yeah. Well, leave the King of Clubs there. Turn it over so you can get a map. We do. Right here. Pop.
Okay, I know you're not gonna tell us how to do it. But I opened the blind, a closed deck, you opened the closed deck. I picked the card, you had nothing to do with me picking the card. You never touched this deck.
Never touched it.
I took the card out of the deck. I put it face down. You took those cards in that deck and picked the card out of it and put it face down. And they were the same.
Intuition?
That would be, no. What is it? You're not psychic.
No, I never played it.
During this interview with Larry King, Chris is asked about pornographer Hugh Hefner. Chris says that he respects him, quote, for what he has accomplished.
You know, I respect him for what he's accomplished.
Later, Chris shows a bracelet he's wearing. He says that it contains, quote, all different religions.
You do that once. Go. Well, show them. That's like it's the same watch. And is that real diamonds or custom?
No, it's real. It's real.
Right, and the rings.
I think I just wore a couple. But everything has like a meaning. Like this says love. Love lives forever and has all different religions.
In a different interview with Larry King, Chris is asked if he has faith. Chris responds saying, quote, yes, absolutely, I believe, and I tell people they should believe, whatever that belief is, whether it is in themselves, in God, in what they are doing. In the next magic act, Chris hypnotizes a man and then tells him to, quote, become one with the vase.
Just relax yourself. Now, listen to my voice. Keep your eyes closed. Okay. Open up your eyes. Put your hands over your head. Hold down, hold on to the vase. Balance this right on your head. Become one with the vase. Balance. Now listen to my voice. Turn. Turn. Turn.
Criss Angel claims to believe in God and says that he is very religious. He will frequently talk about how he's, quote, blessed, but as we can see, he fully accepts false religions.
He has all different religions.
He also practices voodoo magic using a voodoo doll.
I believe in the voodoo. Not really, but kind of sure. I'm not sure.
Alright. You feel it?
Yes! Yes! Yes, I did. Yes!
I want you to take that pen and put it anywhere you like. Basically, read out. Wherever you want, I want you to poke it, okay? And hold you, poke it wherever you want. Stop!
What you doing, man?
Felt it?
Yeah.
Notice the growling noises Criss makes during the following, quote, miracles.
Tell me when you feel the end get warm.
Okay, move now. You get ready.
Watch.
Next.
Open your eyes up. Can I try something with your girlfriend? Just relax. She's okay. Hold her. Just put your hands, palms up, facing up. Do not let go of her. She's fine. Just got her. Hold her. Very slowly, move your hands. Step away. Relax.
Criss has conducted seances on national TV in which he attempts to contact the spirit world.
We headed over to the Opera House for the dark seance.
During this seance, Criss got possessed right on camera in front of witnesses. He flipped upside down and went up the wall. Everyone but the cameramen ran immediately out of the room. The volunteer in this next quote miracle seems to realize that Criss's magic is accomplished by the devil and shouts, quote, the devil in both Spanish and English.
This is like the Houdini milk can, except I'm not going to get into it. Watch, be careful, face the audience, okay? Now I want you just to relax, okay? All right, you're going to go, can you fit in there? Can you actually fit in? Come around. I want you to put your hand on the lid, watch. We're going to try something. Right here. Now put your hand on top there. You kind of come. Now are you in there? Just bang on that. Just push. Do it again. Let me hear you. You are there, right? Okay, now watch. Come here. Ready? Now! Look!
In the next clip, Criss goes to a person's house and levitates on their sprinkler. But what's extremely interesting is what's on the hoodie he's wearing. The black hoodie has the devil's face on it with the words, quote, ante-up. The term ante-up usually means an offering or payment for something. Is this an admission by Criss that the devil will demand his soul for the powers he has given him? Chris has worn this shirt on more than one occasion. This is a picture of the homepage of Criss Angel's official Twitter account taken on August 8th, 2015. Notice the flames and Chris's official A symbol on the left and right. It looks like a depiction of hell, but as you look at the fire scene more closely, it gets even worse. That's because Chris placed his face in the center, directly in the midst of the flames. And if you don't think that it's Chris's face, here is the official image Chris uses of his face. As you can see, it's a perfect match. Chris's official cards have eyes on them, and the eyes look like they're bleeding. It's interesting that Chris changed his last name to Angel. As mentioned earlier, the official name for Criss Angel's magic show is called Believe. To call your magic show Believe is to present magic as a salvation message. It is to preach a false gospel. Chris will tell the crowd to yell out Believe during his shows, as these clips from his shows in 2013 and 2014 demonstrate.
All right, folks, let me hear you say Believe with me on the count of 3. Let it marinate in your soul. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
In an LA Times interview on October 12, 2008, Criss Angel spoke about his stage show Believe. Chris said, quote, "This show is about my life. It's about the demons in my head, the good that's out there, the angels and love and lust, all that stuff mixed up." During the same interview, Chris said, as someone whose business is, quote, lying to people, he is very controlling of his image. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9 states that the deception of Satan and his agents comes, quote, "in all power and signs and lying wonders." Notice that the Bible uses the word lying in regard to false signs and wonders that are worked through the power of the devil.